Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how to get a developer advocacy job as a beginner, right? Like with somebody with no experience. In my previous job, I worked as a developer experience manager. So I had the opportunity to hire about 5 to 6 developer advocates to join my team. And currently I work as a developer advocacy engineer, which meant I had to interview as a developer advocate. So that kind of gave me a unique experience to see things from both from a manager's perspective who is trying to hire people and also as an engineer who is interviewing to get a job. So I'm hoping that at the end of this video, I would have shared like some things that I've picked up along the way from my own experience that will help you get a developer advocacy job with zero experience. So let's move forward. The first thing I have on my list today is demonstrate competence. It goes without saying that if you don't have any experience whatsoever, there's nothing showing the person who is interviewing you or who is the hiring manager that you can do this job. Ordinarily, if you've had 5, 10 years experience, what they would do is look at the things that you've done in the past, right? This person has worked here. While they were working there, they did so and so things. So all those things speaks for you. But if you've not had an actual job and this is like your first time trying to get a job, it becomes a little bit difficult to prove that you can do that thing, right? So what you need to do in this kind of situation is to make sure that you have a lot of things under your belt. For instance, if you're like trying to get a developer advocacy job, you need to have like tutorials. You need to have videos. Well, not that you need to have these things, but it's good for you to have them because it helps make your case. So, for instance, you're trying to get a job where you will be a developer advocate. The things that are required of you when you get that job is that you create content, right? You write blog posts, you make video tutorials, you build OSS demos, you're going to speak at conferences, and all of these things that developer advocates are known to do, right? So something that makes your case is if you already have evidences of yourself doing these things, then it becomes easier for the person who is hiring to be like, okay, you've not worked anywhere in the past, but I can see that you have experience doing these things even on your own as a person. So I would say, depending on the advocacy you're looking for, because some developer advocates don't do these things. Don't get me wrong. That's not all there is to developer advocacy. So you can be applying to be a DX engineer where your task is not to care about creating content, but mostly about making products and services easy for people to use. You can be a templates engineer under the developer experience team where you just be like building templates that help people use your product. So just pick what interests you the most and prepare yourself for that, and like build things that helps prove your case. The next thing that I have is networking. What I have in mind when I say networking is you have to be able to join developer communities. You have to be able to make friends on social media. You have to be more active on social media. The reason is this: if you're in communities where, when I say communities, like for instance, take Jamstack Conf. For instance, it's a community of developers who are building things around the Jamstack. So if you're in the Discord channel, in the Discord server, you get access to job postings that otherwise you wouldn't know about, right? If you're like a developer advocate and if you're trying to be a developer advocate and get a developer advocacy job, it makes sense for you to be in the developer advocacy like related or teamed Discord servers and Slack channels or Reddit or wherever, Twitter communities, wherever you feel most comfortable with. Being in those communities, like first, they give you the first access to job openings. Secondly, sometimes the person posting the job could be the person hiring for the role. So it gives you a direct line of contact to the hiring manager. You can talk to them and all of that. If you're active on social media and constantly putting yourself out, people could even reach out to you and be like, hey, we have this entry level role. It seems like you're doing something in this area. Would you like to come and interview for this role? Building in public, learning in public, doing things where people are seeing you and networking with other people who are doing the same things. Like it builds confidence. It makes people see you and know you. It means that you have access to things that would otherwise not be in your reach. So that's that for networking. I can't tell you enough how this has helped me particularly. So try and get on that if you don't already do it. The next thing that I want to talk about is keep your resume up to date, right? Sometimes the mistakes that I found that entry level people do is they put a lot of effort into creating their resume and then they use that one resume to apply for all the jobs that they want to. That's not a good idea. I would rather you create your resume with a tool like Canva or any other tool like Figma, whatever you're comfortable with, something that is easily editable so that you can tailor it to the needs of the role that you're applying for. So you can't possibly have just one resume. You can have one, but have different variants of it that you can tailor depending on the role you're applying for. A company could be hiring for a community builder. That's a developer relations role that you're interested in. You put your community building experiences on the resume and you send your application. They could be hiring for a content creator who will be writing blog posts and making videos. You have to tailor your CV to match that requirements as well. If they are hiring for a templates engineer or somebody who will basically build OSS demos, you have to also tailor your resume to advertise that as well. So like you can have a one size fits all resume as a beginner when you're trying to get a role. So you need to make it flexible and easy to edit so that you can tailor it to the different requirements you find as you apply for roles. The next thing is, the truth is there's a lot of nuance around how cover letters work because some people will tell you that hiring managers don't have time to read cover letters because there's like thousands and thousands of applications. As true as that may be, you just can never know. Sometimes that is the thing that is standing out between you and the next candidate. Sometimes it helps you make your case because if you're like an entry level person, you don't have experiences, your resume cannot, well, not cannot, but you might not have all the things that people are looking for. And when you're looking at skills and things you've done and it's not like that's solid yet, something that helps you is a cover letter, right? That's where you now start appealing to their emotional point of view, right? You could be like, this is the job that I've always wanted. That is literally where you convince a hiring manager that you're the right candidate. Your CV is, you're competing with it. Like you're saying, oh, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I know how to do. The cover letter gives you the opportunity to be like, even though I have all those things on my CV, I can still be like this, I can still do that. You appeal to their humanity. That's where you say, I'm the one who you should take for this job, basically. The truth is, they may or may not read it, depending on the volume of applications they receive, but you have nothing to lose submitting a cover letter as well, right? There's really nothing for you to lose. So just put it in. If they read it, fine. If they don't, you're also fine. And that's that. So moving on, when you have your resume up to date and you have your cover letter sorted out, apply, and continue applying. A lot of people give up easily. Job searching is very difficult and it's emotionally tasking as well. But the truth is, there's no way around it. You want a job, you have to apply for it. And if you get a lot of feedbacks that are not positive, that's also fine. It's part of the experiences. Continue applying. I have a friend who applied to 5 different roles every day. You get a lot of feedback from people, you get a lot of responses. Some people you will not hear from them at all. That's fine. It's part of the process. You're looking for the job, and that's at that point, that is your job. Your job is to look for the job. So you wake up every morning, you go on LinkedIn, you go on Twitter, you go on GitHub, you go on Stack Overflow, you go everywhere that roles are being posted. Find the ones that you're interested in, tailor it down to your requirements or to the things that you're interested in, and apply to those roles. The next day when you wake up, you have your breakfast, you do the same thing, right? That's your job at that time. Or even if you have other jobs on the side that you're doing, you just make out 1 hour a day to send applications, because how else are you going to get the job? You're going to need to apply, and people are going to review your applications, and hopefully you get called for an interview. So applying is daunting, and when the results are not immediately positive, it can be depressing. But the truth is, you just have to do it to get a job. The next thing I want to talk about is reach out to managers or reach out to professionals. This is, you have to take this with a grain of salt, because it doesn't always work out the way you'd expect. But to be honest, sometimes you just have to be brave and do things like this, right? Say for instance that Stack Overflow as a company, for instance, is hiring a developer advocate. That the role is available on their careers page. Then you go and trace down who is the hiring manager for this role, who is the person who's leading the DevRel team at Stack Overflow. I'll go send them a DM. Hey, I see that you have this role open. I have experience doing so and so things. I'm trying to break into this. I've interned in this place, or this is my resume, just for consideration. You shouldn't have any expectations that they will get back to you. You shouldn't have any expectations that they would even reply to your message. But the thing is, when you're looking for a job, you have nothing to lose. It's not like if I send this thing, this person is going to block me, or I'm not going to get this job. You don't already have the job. So the stakes are not high for you. So as long as you don't spam people and make people uncomfortable with the messages you send, it's a very good approach. It makes people see you. It makes the manager see you. So it's up to them to look at the things that you've sent and be like, okay, maybe this person is worth giving a shot, and stuff like that. So I'm a very big fan of sending messages to the people who are responsible for the person who gets hired, because sometimes a lot of things get lost between the HR processes. You send your resume, the HR people overlook it, or whatever. I like speaking directly to the people who makes the calls on who gets the job. I can't say this enough. So if you want to go that route, it's advisable. A lot of people will tell you not to, but I'm telling you that if there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with, hey, I see that you're looking for a role in your team. This is my resume. This is my cover letter. Please give me a shot or look through it. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't spam people, you understand, and go through the proper channel, go through their emails, and that's it. I found that to be helpful. It has helped a lot of people that I know. And I'm telling you, if you'd like to take that path, I encourage it. Then create your own role, right? So there are some companies, Netlify is one of them, who, if you go to their careers page, you would see a button that says create your own role. I think Netlify calls it create your dream role. So what this does is it gives the impression that, okay, if you've gone through all our listings and you don't find any job that speaks to what you want to do or that fits you, then this is an opportunity for you to create a role that you think that, for you to create a role that you would want. It just happens that we currently don't have this role, but if you create this role and we see that we do in fact need this kind of role, we would hire you for it. And I'm not joking, but I've seen at least 4 people get hired like this. So you click on the button, you talk about the job description, you talk about what you would do in the job. It's just a bunch of questions about why should we have this role and stuff. It works. I can't believe that I'm making so much of a big deal about it, but it works. So when you're looking through a company's career page and you see the opportunity to like create your dream role, use it. Trust me, this might not sound like something that you find everywhere, but at least some people have it. Netlify is one example. I think New Relic has it as well. Just feel free to talk about the things that you want to do that they currently don't have. Or maybe they have it, but there's just no listing for that role. Click on that button, talk about the things that you want to do for them, create your dream role, and send in that application. And another one is, so let's say that you finally had done all these things and now you have an interview. How do you interview as somebody with no experience? The good answer to it is speak with confidence. Don't say that I've never worked anywhere before, I don't have any kind of experience, I'm just coming to try things out and see if no, you do that and nobody's going to hire you. You have to speak with a lot of confidence. Like I'm not sure the exact word to use, but like it does something to a hiring manager when they're looking at you as somebody with no experience whatsoever and you're speaking with so much confidence about your skills and about the things that you can do. If you can do that, I assure you, like, especially for roles that are meant for entry level candidates, you're going to get called back. Maybe for the next round of interviews or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make here is don't speak to your strengths, right? If the role is about speaking at conferences, for instance, like they need you to speak at conferences and stuff, you can speak to your strengths. If your strength is like writing blog posts and creating video content, the results are the same, right? You're trying to reach more people and tell them about the company's products and services and the things that they do. You have another avenue, another way of doing that will reach even more audience. Speak to that. Put all your effort in selling yourself as somebody who reaches this level of audience with the content you write, with the newsletter that you run, with your blog, with your Twitter content, and all of that. If you try not to sell yourself short by speaking about the things that you're currently not comfortable with, it doesn't inspire confidence in the person who's trying to hire you, so they'll probably not call you back. And the last thing that I have for you today is ask questions. If you finish interviewing and your interviewer asks you, so do you have any questions for us? Don't say no. Usually there's nerves going on and you're already tensed and you're standing on the edge and you're happy that the interview is finally over and you just want to be done with it and go and get a glass of water. But it's also very nice to have questions. Like, it's a way to show the interviewer that you've made your research about the company, you've made your research about the role, you want to know more about the team that you're going to join, you want to know if the team has documents that you can go through and see how your career will progress if you get the role. Are there growth opportunities? Would they sponsor learnings for you and all of that? There's tons and tons of resources out there that will also help you get equipped on what kind of questions should I ask in an interview. That's not particularly what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not trying to tell you the kind of questions you should ask. I'm telling you that you should ask those questions. If you need resources, I'm sure if you Google, you'll find some. But be sure to have questions, right? It tells the people who are interviewing you that you did not just come to ask questions, but you are also invested in the process. You want to know that your interests are being accounted for when you eventually get the role. So that's it. That's the tip that I have. As time goes on, I will probably try and make more videos like this that will help you get a head start on how to be more active on social media, on how to get your dream jobs, and I'll be happy to share with you all. Thanks and bye for now.